Excellencies, distinguished presidents of COP26 and COP27, presidents, prime ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I congratulate Egypt on hosting the 27th session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. I also thank the United Kingdom for its chairmanship of COP26. The 30th anniversary of the adoption of the Convention, which falls this year, prompts us to take stock of the climate action undertaken so far and to discuss the next steps, especially in the face of a very difficult international situation, the war in Ukraine, food and climate crisis. What has Poland done throughout these past years? It has achieved the adopted gas emissions reduction targets by 2020. It is actively developing the system of renewable energy sources, as well as the low-carbon civil nuclear power program. Poland is promoting electromobility, energy efficiency, and is developing new technologies. Our country is actively engaged in order to meet the goals set for us all. Despite challenges arising from the nature of our energy sector and industry, Poland is an example of a country following the path of sustainable development, significantly reducing emissions while growing its GDP. Ladies and gentlemen, in Poland and in the European Union, we are on the path to achieving the goals stipulated in the Climate Convention and in the Paris Agreement. For this to succeed, we all need to step up our efforts and act responsibly for the sake of socially sustainable transition. Let us remember, transition is there to serve man, not man to serve transition. As I said yesterday during our discussion of just transition, and now I'm saying this is on behalf of millions of my compatriots who are not going to ask us during the upcoming winter how many of our ambitious climate goals we have achieved. What they are going to ask is why the energy resources are so expensive and why their living standards have dropped so dramatically. Transition that puts man at the center of changes has to be cost-effective and serve energy security. By adopting the Katowice rulebook, as well as the Solidarity and Just Transition Declaration at COP24 in Poland, we have defined a framework for these actions. Today we must implement it in a consistent manner. While doing so, let us not be climate hypocrites, since it's easy for the leaders of the rich North to boast with their achievements. The world, however, has the right to ask where we have moved our production. For if we have moved it into non-European countries, then we should not forget that our responsibility has not disappeared. Since we are the ones who say that there is just one climate. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make one more point. Today, our transformation is much more difficult, among other things, due to Russia's criminal aggression against Ukraine, which has inflicted enormous human losses, caused damage to Ukraine's infrastructure, economy, and environment, losses for which the Russian perpetrators should be held accountable and which they should cover. The consequence of Russia's aggression are crises and huge costs which put at risk timely implementation of climate transition as well as timely attainment of the intended goals. It has also generated additional emissions, exceeding the level of those produced by a number of developing countries within the scope of 1 year. In the light of the above, we must provide a strong response, caring first and foremost for the people, for our compatriots, for individual energy consumers. Moreover, we must ensure that the Russian aggression is promptly and permanently repealed by increasing support for Ukraine, enhancing pressure on Russia, and stepping up our efforts to become independent of Russian fossil fuels. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, today we need solidarity and concerted global action as much as ever. We need to work out innovative solutions that will ensure energy security and climate protection. Ones which, through research and development, will bring about a technological leap towards a low-carbon transition. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your statement.